Let me hop on this iceberg trend with a topic I enjoy. Times when the world was supposed to end. Doomsday events.
The story today from the nation's capital, lawmakers packing up and heading home for the Christmas recess, leaving behind some legislation.
There's many of them, but none have been successful, as we know. Just step outside, you'll see. And to briefly explain the iceberg format, we're starting with the tip with well-known events, and then as we go down in the depths, try and find some more obscure and a little bit more darker ones. So let's jump in. Y2K. The Y2K bug is very well known. It's 1999.
Stroke of midnight, January 1st, 2000. Elevators may stop. Heat may vanish. Credit cards and ATMs may cease to function. Airplanes and trains may come to a halt.
So it's 1999 and technology is in infancy, but there's a problem. What happens when the clock has to turn over to 2000? Because people were getting real comfy using 2 digits for years. 55 meant 1955, 69 meant a nice 1969. But what would happen when it hit 2000? Would it go into 19,000, throwing off dates, causing a societal collapse eventually?
There's nothing going to happen. What are you basing that on? Nobody knows. No one.
Stores even sold Y2K emergency kits full of water, food, and so on to scared people. People were stocking up on items, hoarding food and everything, or in a bunker to prepare. But in the end, nothing happened.
Well, it turned out to be nothing, but no one knew at that time. So it was a little concerning for us, but it turned out to just be another day. You know, we woke up the next day and nothing had changed and life went on.
Harold Camping's Judgment Day. A preacher predicted that May 21st, 2011 was going to be Judgment Day. It was going to be the day the rapture would leave only 3% of the population because God would bring them to heaven. He had some predictions in 1994 and 1995, but oh well, maybe it's true that time. Except it wasn't, and the date was pushed to then October 21st, 2011. But that was wrong too.
I can't tell you what I feel right now. I'm just surprised. I don't understand it. And I don't know. I don't understand what happened.
You think it's going to happen next year? 2012 maybe?
No, this is the year. All the calculations indicate this is the year. It's locked in for 2011.
Mayan calendar, 2012. 2012 had a lot of theories going around. People thought that the Mayan calendar ended on December 21st, 2012 after 5,125 years or so.
We should be very wary of what will happen in 2012. Their calendar runs for over 5,000 years and then it abruptly stops on December 21st in 2012.
But once again, nothing happened, and NASA had to explain how none of that was possible, and Mayan scholars made sure to also tell people that they completely misconceptualized Mayan history and culture. But according to the legend, the village of Bouac, in France, would be the only place on Earth that would be spared. Halley's Comet, 1910. This comet made people think they were going to be gassed to death. Camille Flammarion had a theory that cyanogen gas would impregnate the atmosphere and possibly snuff out all life on the planet. It was a very deadly poison that could instantly kill, and the New York Times published all of this, spreading more fear. Naturally, people got pretty panicked. There were anti-comet pills on the market, as well as gas masks. True Way Cult, 1998. Chen Tao, the True Way Cult, and their leader, Han Mingchen, believed in this UFO religion and predicted that God would come to Earth in a flying saucer at 10 a.m. March 31st, 1998. More specifically, God would first appear on a television screen across America. Although this group began with Taiwanese roots, Chen moved to Garland, Texas because it sounded like Godland. Other followers of the cult followed and bought homes in Garland. But after the prophecy failed, everything seems to have fizzled out. The Seekers, 1954. Dorothy Martin predicted that a UFO was going to take her and her followers away on December 21st, 1954, when a flood was to hit. This case gave psychologists and others a chance to study cognitive dissonance and the reaction to when the end doesn't come. When the date came, they said it would be on Christmas Eve instead. Of course, that never happened. Some doubled down, but eventually it all fizzled out. The Nibiru Cataclysm 2003. Back in 2003, the planet Nibiru was supposed to smash into the Earth. That's according to Nancy Leader, who claims she was told by aliens called Zetas, through an implant in her brain, that she was the chosen one who would have to tell everybody that a large planetary object was coming crashing into the Earth, and that was going to be the Nibiru Cataclysm. People also reference this planet simply as Planet X. Kuznetsov's Doomsday Cult, 2008. Pyotr Kuznetsov was the leader of the true Russian Orthodox Church, where he told followers that Doomsday was coming, and in November of 2007, they holed themselves up in a cave awaiting the apocalypse that would come in the spring, March of 2008. However, Kuznetsov wasn't with them. When people were found, police and others tried to coax them out, but they didn't come out for some time. I believe 2 adults had died, and Kuznetsov attempted suicide in April of 2008, realizing his prophecy was wrong. Mary Bateman, 1806. Good old 1806. It was then in England that a chicken began to lay eggs with the phrase "Christ is coming" on them. This was then supposed to be taken as the end of times, but in reality it was just Mary riding on these eggs and reinserting the eggs back into the chicken's oviduct. Mary is also known as the Yorkshire Witch and was executed later in life because she was also a serial killer. Jean Dixon, 1962. Jean is a famous psychic, but not all that she says is true, such as the planets aligning and destroying life in 1962, but she did accurately predict JFK's assassination. But she also changed the end of the world date to 2020, and saying that the end of the world was coming in that year. Honestly, we're lucky it didn't, but oh boy was that a year. Jose Luis de Jesus, 2012. Jose was the leader of a Florida cult where he claimed to be both the returned phase of Jesus Christ but also the Antichrist. His followers would celebrate Christmas on April 22nd each year because that was the day Jesus was born, and thus it being the real Christmas, Jesus Jesus, and that there would be a transformation day, June 30th, 2012, which would allow followers to walk through walls, go through fire without being burned, fly, and so on, because they had been fully enlightened and living with an immortal body. Aum Shinrikyo 2003, also known as Aleph, this Japanese doomsday cult predicted the end of the world was going to be between October and November in 2003 due to nuclear war. Things are getting a bit darker. This cult had assassination attempts, many on record, killing a cult member who tried to leave, trying to cause an anthrax epidemic, and began producing the nerve agent sarin, which would then be used for the Matsumoto sarin attack and the later Tokyo subway sarin attack. Heaven's Gate, 1997. The leader of the Heaven's Gate cult claimed that a spacecraft was trailing the comet Hale-Bopp, and that cult members' souls needed to be board the craft and be taken to another level existence above human, and that suicide was the only way to evacuate the Earth. 39 people, including the leader, committed mass suicide. I wanted to save this part for the scariest of all. Actual doomsday events that could be in the possible, far, far future, though. Say 100 million years. It's estimated that every 100 million years, the Earth will be hit by an asteroid similar to the size of the one that triggered the KPG extinction, which killed non-avian dinosaurs 66 million years ago.